All right, everybody, welcome back to The Crafted Life, where we are built on purpose and shaped by faith. I'm Jake, and on today's episode, we're going to give you a little backstory about how kind of we got here, my journey, and where I've gone, and what's brought me to this point now. I grew up in Southern California, in Whittier, California, and was always kind of working on stuff, or fixing stuff, or breaking stuff, or building stuff. I had a dad who is super creative, and a grandfather who had a wood shop and was always fixing things and doing different things. I always feel like I kind of got that bug from both of them, to be creative. Growing up, I think back, and my dad really never said, "Hey, you can't use any tools," or said, "Hey, you can't do whatever." He just let me do it. He let me mess up and let me break things and figure it out, from building forts to digging holes to trying to build a go-kart to whatever it might be. And the influence of my grandfather with he had a pretty nice wood shop, and always going in there and thinking how magical it was every time I walked in that shop, of just kind of the endless possibilities of what could be. And as a young man, I did take some shop classes in high school. I took wood shop and drafting, and I enjoyed those, but somehow ended up in ceramics, which I don't think is a too far of a stretch or a leap from doing something or making things with your hands, for sure. Um, Went off to college my freshman year at a community college, and looking back, really didn't do very well. I wanted to be a mechanical engineer like my dad. My dad worked for General Electric for a long time, working on power plants and turbines and that kind of thing. And he loved that kind of stuff, so I wanted to kind of follow my father's footsteps and become probably a mechanical engineer. Uh, that all came to a screeching halt my freshman year of college, where I really only was taking 4 classes, but 2 of those classes, one was trigonometry, college trigonometry, and another one was a computer class. And I didn't do great in math in high school. I did okay. I really had to really work hard to get a B in most of those math classes, and in some science classes. I failed chemistry completely in high school, and it wasn't the teacher's fault. I just wasn't picking up what he was laying down. I still don't quite understand what a mole is, even though I did pass chemistry in college. But all that to say, I did not do well in college trigonometry. I dropped that halfway through the semester that year. The computer class was not a computer class like, oh, we're going to learn about Microsoft Word or do spreadsheets or that kind of thing. It was actually turned out to be computer programming. Computer programming and I do not get along. We just don't see eye to eye. We don't play well together. It just doesn't work out. So, not a great experience my freshman year of college, going right in, where I actually dropped 2 out of the 4 classes I was taking. Wasn't super encouraging. But I always was kind of tinkering, if you will, with cars, with building things. Cars back then, it was, maybe changing a water pump or doing some, maintenance or that kind of thing. Or when I was young, it was making sure you changed out the stereo for a aftermarket stereo, like the Pioneer or whatever it might be. That was the first thing you did. Even if your car didn't run, it didn't matter. You had to have the right stereo in there first. And obviously, we've kind of come a long way from that. But if you're my age, you can remember, I think, some of those days, having that pull-out stereo, the whole thing, or the detachable face. That was pretty cool way back in the 90s. So from there, I did go to college off and on. I took some classes. I really didn't know why I was going to school, but I always was helping friends and doing things like that, and really was kind of searching for, like, where's my place? What do I want to do? Eventually, my friends said, "Hey, you're really good at working with vehicles. You should look into that." So I ended up going to a trade school for automotive. Did that for a year and really felt a good connection there. Felt like I was really getting the information, felt like I was in the right place. There's some things I didn't understand, but I felt like I could grow in that. And eventually, that started with a career at a BMW dealership in Southern California. I worked there for 5 years. I learned a lot while I was there about people, about the industry, about cars in general, and really, really enjoyed my time there. Eventually, I decided, you know what, I really want to go into teaching. I want to kind of bring this along for future generations and kind of help them along with what's possible. What can you do as a career? What can you do just on your own if you're interested in working with your hands? And I've been doing that for about 15 years, primarily automotive, but I've been teaching woodworking, I've been teaching welding, I've been teaching CAD CAM, and just basically kind of whatever's handed to me, I kind of just figure it out, and I go with it, and I go with what I know, and that's usually enough to even get students going because they're starting from a base level of typically zero. And I've done a lot of learning along the way as well. But as I think about people my age or uh, younger adults or even students from high school students on up to their 50s or maybe even 60s, with a lot of people saying, you know what, I've really never done whatever it is. I've never done woodworking. I've never worked on my car. I've never gardened. I've never built something, just because, for whatever reason that might be, because no one was around to show you, or other things got kind of were a priority, if you will, where you really didn't have a chance to dive into those things. I think that having hands-on skills of some sort, I don't think everybody needs to be a plumber or a jack of all jack. I'm sorry, a jack of all trades. You don't, but I think it is good to understand things, to come along other guys who are doing things and to be part of it, even if it's just a little bit. There's something about doing something even together, as men or as a group together, and accomplishing a task, and learning from other people. Even with all, I think I've got a lot of knowledge, I've got a lot of experience in a lot of different areas. But one thing I really want from this podcast, and one thing I really want to kind of impart to you, is there's always something more that you can learn. There's always something more that you can invest in. There's always something more that you can come alongside someone else and just be a help. You might not know anything about it, or you might know very little about it, but just standing shoulder to shoulder with other guys, it's just an amazing thing to be with other people and to do hard things together. I've found that brings my relationships closer with other men, which is something that is so needed uh, in this day and in this time. That is so lacking. There's a lot of lonely guys um, out there who are just kind of living their life, even though they might have a lot of people around. Still very lonely, and I've been in that place too. And I'm slowly getting out. I'm slowly getting to a place where I'm trying to really invest in other men, and hopefully they're doing the same for me. But um, investing in that, and investing in just get out there and just give it a shot. Now, you may also say, well, I don't have a garage, I don't have tools, um, I don't have land, I don't have, and man, there's a lot of things people don't have. What you do have isn't, what you could have is incentive. What you could have is even just curiosity, and to meet people and talk with people who are doing the things that you want to do, um, already have experience in the areas that you want to learn from, and just saying, hey, and asking questions at least of, hey, how do you do that? Where did you start? Uh, could I come and just hang out and watch? Things like that. That's where it all starts for sure. And I think most guys who do have experience, if you spent any time with someone like that, usually not all the time, because some guys are just rude. But I think there are guys who are more than willing to say, hey, yeah, come on over, come see what I'm doing. Let me show you what's going on. Do you want to try this? And are more than willing to kind of bring you aside or next to them and show you what it is that they're doing, and impart some knowledge and skills to you. I really don't think people are really about keeping things secret, keeping things to themselves. And I really don't want to be around those people anyway. I want to be around people that want to build into other men, that want to create those close and meaningful relationships. And I think this is really one way we do that, is through skills, through using our hands, through spending that time together. Um, One story that kind of really kind of sits with me is this past year. I've really wanted to learn more about food. And I live, like, this is my yard. It's less than a quarter acre. I don't have chickens. I don't have cows. I don't have pigs. I don't have livestock. All we have are guinea pigs. Don't even have a dog yet. But that's hopefully, hopefully we're going to get a dog soon. But I do have a friend who does. And he invited me out, said, hey, Jake, you want to come out? Do you want to help me process? We're going to be processing these pigs, and we're going to be processing a cow. Do you want to come help? And I said, absolutely. Um, and it was one of the most memorable experiences of my life in a very long time. Um, being with him and being with another friend, I think that built our relationship. I think it made us closer. I think that doing something together that is that involved, that is that big of a deal to process a full cow. It's not a small task. And then, but doing it together and being with each other, encouraging each other when we ran into problems or having a hiccup or getting frustrated, because you're going to run into that. This is um, part of our human condition is we're going to run into frustrating things. We're going to run into where things break. We're going to run into things don't go the way I would want to go or our friends wanted to go. To come alongside and say, hey, well, this is going to be fine. Let's figure this out. Let's do it together. That's an amazing thing. And so that's what I really want to encourage you in. It's never too late to learn a skill. It's never too late to come along. It's never too late to come alongside someone and to say, hey, can I learn from you? Can I spend some time with you? Would you show me what you do? And I think most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time that's going to be something that that person would be willing to do. It's something that I'm willing to do. And hopefully this is going to be, again, a podcast where we provide those opportunities eventually, um, wherever you might be, to help experience that, not just on video form, but in kind of in the live context. I'd really love to do like, what am I calling it? I'm calling it Skill Builder Weekend. And I think it'd be great just to get guys together to learn things about, I don't know, let's axes. What kind of axe? If you're going to have an axe, what are you going to use it for? Are you going to use it for chopping? Are you going to use it for felling? Is it a double bit axe? Is it a single bit axe? Why the handle is a certain way? Why on a double bit axe would you have the blade different on each side? That kind of thing. Like, let's get together, not just do it in a video form, right? How do you sharpen it? Just there's so many things we could do um, as men and as brothers. I think that would just be a great experience. So in the next episodes coming up, I really want to kind of flush out a little bit about kind of the 4 pillars that I'm trying to kind of pull this all around. Now those again are reality, what's real, what's true, and how does that my faith in Christ actually how is that rooted in what's true? In durability is something that's going to last. In community, it can be something we can do together, and then in legacies, it's something that can be passed on, that will be used from generation to generation, not just in my lifetime, but hopefully in my kids' lifetime, my grandkids' lifetime, and in this broader community. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next episode.